Broadcasting live from the exotic orchard on the plain of Alara, this is Tap Tap Concede. Hey everybody, and welcome to this brand new episode of Tap Tap Concede. My name is James.
I'm Cameron.
I'm Alex.
And we are here today to talk to you about Conspiracy 2, which as of the time of this recording is 1 week away from release. And I'm actually going to mention this at the top of the show, and I'm going to mention this at the end of the show. At the next Friday, I believe it's the... crap, what is that, Paul? What's next Friday?
That would be the 26th.
Next Friday, the 26th, is the release of Conspiracy 2, and you can damn well bet that we're going to do an AFK draft. So on AFK, Friday, the 26th of August, we will be doing a full 8-person draft. I'm going to be there, Alex is going to be there, Cameron's going to be there.
Hi.
The regular players are going to be there, and maybe some extra special people because we need to fill the seats because there are 8 people. So get excited for that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. In the meantime, let's dive into, well, crack a pack first, and then we'll talk about some spoilers. So Cam, let's roll it up. It's way over there.
Goodbye.
I don't know where it went.
It is a 6.
Open the box. Do it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What's it?
6.
What is it?
Furf
It is, oh god, it's a Russian pack
of Fate
of
Reforged.
Fate Reforged.
Whoopah.
It is from Eric at PAX Prime. Can you put this down there? Cam? Thank you so much. Eric from PAX Prime, thank you so much for the Russian pack. Okay, this is going to be fun. I don't remember any of these cards.
Я не знаю.
Okay, well, it sounds like Cam knows what he's talking about.
Oh, it's
Sultai Emissary.
Oh, I
Hey,
love that card. I played it in a Mardu Aristocrats deck around this
So
time.
I'm
where it
gonna
was so
give
good.
it up to you to read the card because
Okay.
there's a camera right in front of the card. I can't.
All right.
I can't see what they say.
Sultai Emissary, 1 and a black for a zombie warrior. It is a 1/1. When Sultai Emissary dies, manifest the top card of your library. Manifest being one of the keyword mechanics from this set, which means put the top card of your library face down onto the battlefield as a 2/2 creature. Turn it face up at any time for its mana cost if it's a creature card.
This card was really good in the draft.
Yeah, sacking this guy to a Butcher of the Horde
Yeah.
for haste, and then sacking the manifested creature for lifelink,
Yeah.
and then doming someone for 2 off of Outpost Siege.
Butcher of the Horde, by the
was
way,
unspeakably tight.
possibly one of my favorite Magic cards.
I love
since,
that guy.
Since we came back to the game about 5 or 6
Yeah.
years ago. Butcher of the Horde, he's so cool.
Yeah, you guys are making me want to build Mardu again.
Marduk's so good.
That's very good. It's about to get better.
you a
We'll
Mardu?
We're
get
actually going
into
to be
it.
talking. Yeah, we're going to be talking about a Mardu card a little later. Next up, do you remember what this one's called?
No.
Some fight.
It's the
fight stabberman.
assassin of some sort. I don't remember
Stab fighters.
exactly what it is.
Captain Stabs.
Hooded assassin, right?
Yeah. When Hooded Assassin enters the battlefield, choose 1. Put a +1/+1 counter on Hooded Assassin, or destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. It is a 1/2 human assassin for 2 and a black. So it could be a 2/3, which was not bad, or you could get a 1/2 that would kill something. Presumably, it was like not great, to be honest, because usually if you're playing this guy second main phase to kill something that was dealt damage, either you've lost a creature or you've swung in for nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
There was some relevance to +1/+1 counters in this block, though, wasn't there?
It was
it
a
was
sub-theme.
useful in the Abzan decks.
Yeah.
Where they had like the pseudo lords that would give abilities to creatures that had +1/+1 counters.
Yeah.
All right, next up,
Gurmag Angler.
Gurmag Angler.
All-star.
That's not a hard one to remember. 6
Yeah.
and a black. It's a 5/5, and it has Delve.
So it's a 5/5 for 1.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It is
Yeah.
really good. Does this get play in Highlander?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
goes into like
Any-
Delver strategies.
Any
Yeah.
deck that can't play Tassiger or can't activate Tassiger just plays this because he's just as good.
Well,
Yeah.
also in Highlander, I think a second Tassiger is also just fine.
Yeah, no, this
Right,
card's
like,
so dumb.
It's a donkey that can rumble with Goyf most of the time.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's a 10-cent Tarmogoyf is what
Yeah.
it is.
I like that. A 10
Yeah,
tower.
that's what it is.
Anybody remember what this one is?
Irrational Cleric.
Yeah.
I know that because I play it in Junk Sisters.
What does it do, Alex?
It's 1/3 for 1 and a white. It gains 3 life when it enters play.
All right.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. What were you playing this in?
Junk Sisters.
Okay.
That's a life gain deck.
Yeah. And
So
was this like? Is this just like it's a
You
body
play it,
that plays?
it's a body. It gains life.
Yeah. I remember in draft this being like it was okay. Like
Yeah, it was infuriatingly effective, I remember, in draft.
Yeah, like I don't remember. I don't know if I remember it being that effective, but it's just I hate 1/3s.
Yeah.
1/3s are such a pain in the ass to kill.
They're actually my favorite body in Magic.
Are they?
Yeah.
Ugh, you're a monster. Is what you are.
It's true.
All right. Next up, it's a blue card. What does it do?
This was a counterspell.
Kitty
that,
Crush.
I think it was basically just a force spike that also did something. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 for each card in your graveyard. Rakshasa's Disdain for 2 and a blue.
Man, if that was 1 and a blue, this would probably see play.
Yeah, but otherwise it's just...
It's like 3 mana for a counter spell.
Yeah.
no.
This card was not very good. All right. We got a green card up next. Anybody remember?
This is one that manifested a card and did something to it. I think it just put a +1/+1 counter on it.
Yeah, I can see the +1/+1
So
right
it makes
there.
it 3/3.
I can't remember what this thing is called though.
Formless Nurturing.
Right.
3 and a green for a sorcery. Manifest the top card of your library. Then put a +1/+1 counter on it. So you get a 3/3 for 4 mana, which is...
It was okay. This
Yeah.
card was like 23rd.
Yeah.
In my opinion, in that format, it was not exciting. You weren't ever necessarily happy to play it, but it filled its role.
Yeah.
This is a very good card.
No, I
got
can't
it?
remember it.
Bathe in Dragonfire, I believe.
Right.
Oosh.
Which
4
is
damage to a creature.
2 and a red sorcery, 4 damage to a creature. It was
Man,
just
do you guys remember
effective
Flame
removal.
Slash?
Yeah, I do remember Flame Slash.
Yeah, this
How
is
ye
not,
mighty have fallen.
This is not Flame Slash. But this was an all-star. It was really great removal.
I was gonna say even like Roast
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, there's Flame Slash. That was 1 red.
for the same spell.
For the same spell.
This is actually playable. It's very good.
Oh, it's so good. Okay. What do we got? We got a white card next.
This was the white version that I think it just manifested a creature. It was,
All it does is manifest the top card of your library.
Yep.
I don't remember what it's called.
No.
No, I don't remember.
Soul
Summons,
That's the
right?
one.
Yep.
Yeah.
1 and a white, sorcery, manifest the top card of your library.
Yep.
So it's a bear.
Yep. And that's fine.
Yep.
Green card. Anybody know what this one is?
Arashi.
Fire climb wolf fighter.
This is the guy that either tutored up a basic land and put it on top of your library, or came in with a +1/+1 counter, I think.
Enoch Guide.
Enoch Guide, right?
For
Sorry.
1 and a green, it's a 1/1. And what does it do? Were you right?
Yeah. When Enoch Guide enters the battlefield, choose one, put a +1/+1 counter on Enoch Guide, or search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, so at the end of the day, this was it could just be a bear, or
Yeah.
it could fetch you a land that you might need, but I don't know. All right, we got a blue 4/1.
Frostwalker.
Frostwalker.
Yeah.
Yep.
So aggressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like unnaturally aggressive for blue.
Also, it turned on the Teamer ability.
Yep.
In these sets.
Ooh, relevant. Yeah, 1 and a blue for a 4/1.
I love 4/1s might be. It's annoying. 4/1s might be my favorite, but your 1/3s kill this. So
Yeah,
it's a
but
little awkward.
your 4/1 kills my thing.
The downside
Yeah.
to this is when it becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. Which I always thought, like, if it's getting Doombladed, it's dead anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
a good-
exactly.
That's a good way of looking at it.
I mean, they're not going to use a Doomblade on it because
They might have to,
I
because
mean,
they're
they-
about to take 4 to the face.
Yeah.
no, but they're not like they could use a pump spell on it or any.
It's true, yeah.
It's interesting. Is this the only time this ability has been on a non-phantasmal creature?
Yeah, or on a
It ought to be an illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't ask questions.
Like that is very this thing is so delicate that it is essentially just a
Like it's very brittle.
yeah. It's just it's as delicate as an illusion.
I mean, I guess that's that's kind of what they're going for with the 4/1, right? Like it's so
The glass
easy,
cannon.
it's just so easy to
ice
just
cannon.
poke over. All right,
Yeah.
I don't remember what this card is at all.
Arrowback.
I'm pretty. Arrowback is probably about right. It is actually friendly
Friendly
fire.
Fire.
Oh.
What does this card do?
Target creature's controller reveals a card at random from his or her hand. Friendly fire deals damage to that
sorry,
creature
what?
and that player equal to the revealed card's converted mana cost.
3 and a red, eh?
For an instant.
I don't remember ever playing this card. I don't remember ever having this card
It's
played against
almost
me.
removal.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say it was not very good.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what this is?
Double dragon.
It's the poisonous dragon.
We get it, you vape.
Noxious
Dragon?
Noxious
yes,
dragon,
got
yep.
there. 4 and 2 black for a 4/4 flying dragon. When Noxious Dragon dies, you may destroy target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. This guy was fine.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
this guy was totally
this
good,
was the
actually.
cycle of dragons.
Yeah.
The 4 and then color for a 4/4 flyer, and then they all did something.
Yeah, like the blue one, Mildew.
Yeah, something
and,
like that.
Yeah, it was terrible, actually.
I don't remember what they all did. I remember the red one being actually pretty terrible. I think this was
the
the
best. Yeah.
I recall this being the best. All right, ready for our mythic rare?
We
Is
got
it- is it Eugene?
I saw it. It's
Is
a
it the
good one.
Genester? Oh! Soulfire Grandmaster!
It is.
Oh man.
Oh.
It is and it looks
And it's in
so
Russian.
good in Russian.
Oh, can I see it, actually?
Yeah, absolutely.
This card
Oh.
is extraordinary.
I will say that. We got a foil. as well.
Master. Oh God. So M-A. Okay, that's the master. Boris. No, Ota.
it's a bear with lifelink.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
There's a lot more.
Instant and sorcery spells you control have lifelink, and also for 2 and then hybrid Izzet mana. Izzet mana. The next time you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, thanks, Paul. Thanks, a bundle, for doing that to me. You put it back in your hand. So this sees play in Canadian Highlander in Jeskai midrange because
Stop that.
it copies Time Walk.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually a hard
I
lock.
actually want that card a lot.
Six mana. Yeah, 6 mana Time Walk wins you the game at this
Yeah.
point.
Sweetheart, I've missed you.
That card looks really good. I will say this, that Russian, like Cyrillic, is my favorite language that isn't English to see Magic cards in. I think it just looks so good. There is one last card here. It's a red card.
Collateral damage.
Foil.
Yeah, a foil collateral damage, which actually looks really sweet in the
Yeah.
foil. I hadn't seen
Please
this before.
clear back blast area.
What's it read?
As an additional cost to cast collateral damage, sacrifice a creature. Collateral damage deals 3 damage to target creature or player. It's Lightning Bolt. It's exactly as good as Lightning Bolt.
It is exactly
It is
as good.
sometimes actually as good as Lightning Bolt.
Yeah. No, this card was
In
really
the
good.
red deck, but yeah.
Conditionally better if you're on a sacrifice theme.
It's another Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
All right, people are going to write letters if we don't at least put this down. You can put it in the sleeve later.
Shaking.
All right, guys. That's gonna do it for the crackback this week. So let's start talking about Conspiracy 2. So,
Oh boy.
if you don't know what Conspiracy is, a really quick rundown. It is a format specifically designed to be drafted, with 8 players, and then on top of that, after you're done drafting, you split into groups of 4 and you play one big multiplayer game. Conspiracy 1.
2 multiplayer.
Sorry, 2 multiplayer. Yeah. Conspiracy 1 came out, I think, 2 years ago. I think it's been 2 years since the last one. And it was a huge hit. These cards interact with the game like no other Magic card has done before. And we're going to spend today talking mostly about the cards that don't do that kind of weird stuff, just because we want to come from, I know Alex wants to talk about, Highlander and what that's going to do, and Cam wants to talk about some reprints a lot as well. So I encourage you to come watch again next week on the Friday when we play live on AFK. It's going to be a lot of fun. You'll see a lot of those weird, wacky interactions that the set has been designed for. We want to get into a little bit more of the nuts and bolts today. I think it would be a lot of fun to do so. So highly recommend it. It's not one of those Masters set. It's not Eternal Masters. It's not Modern Masters. This is not going to be a hard set for you to come by. It's not an expensive set. They're not.
Yeah,
These aren't packs that are worth like $10, $15 each.
It's an unlimited print run.
Yeah.
You can get it at like Walmart.
Yeah, and it's something. And they're printing special 3-pack draft sets that you can actually go out and buy. This is a set that WotC wants everybody to play as much as possible and just have a complete blast with. And I almost guarantee you that I think you will. It's a lot of fun. But in the meantime, now that you know what it's about, let's talk about cards. Cam and Alex have picked a bunch of cards that they want to talk about. We've picked new cards. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the reprints that are coming up in the set, and then we'll close out the show talking about the 2 new planeswalkers, both of whom are incredibly cool.
Yeah.
So let's kick it off with the first card of the day, which I believe is Recruiter of the Guard. Alex, what does this card do?
Oh, man.
What does it do?
2 and a white for a 1/1. When it enters play, you search for a creature card with toughness 2 or less. Reveal it, put it in your hand.
Yep.
Shuffle your library. This is opposite day Imperial Recruiter, which is a ridiculous card from Portal 3 Kingdoms that has only ever seen 1 reprint as a judge foil. It is very sought after.
Was it not reprinted in Commander's Arsenal?
Maybe? I don't think so. I think it's only ever seen that 1 reprint.
Paul could
I
let
could
us
be
know.
wrong.
Paul, was that wasn't reprinted in Commander's Arsenal, was it?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. What am I thinking of?
I don't know. But yeah, this is basically the same card, but instead of searching by power, it searches by toughness.
So how
What
much?
So
kind
it's
of cards-
basically as good.
What kind of cards in white do you want to get with 2 or less toughness?
I don't even. The list is too long.
Well, like Soulfire Grandmaster.
Soulfire
for one.
Grandmaster, Thalia.
Both Thalias.
Both Thalias. You pair it with any other color, you're getting stuff like Vendilion Clique. You're even getting combo pieces. This can find Kiki Jiki.
The Cheekster. Yeah.
Just like on and on and on. There's so many cards you can find with this. And
Hold on. Can we go back to it for a moment?
So you're looking to play this obviously in Highlander.
Give it to me.
So what kind of deck does this? I mean, does it just go? Is this just an auto include in any deck that plays white?
Maybe not. Like not any deck that plays white, but
Okay, and
a lot
also
of
it's
decks.
an enter the battlefield effect. So when you vial this in,
or
at
when you
instant
flicker
speed,
it.
yeah, you can get something. Like you can get Flicker Wisp with this guy.
Ooh. Doink. But yeah, I would play this in a lot of decks. Like there's one that I'm building right now. I'm building Abzan Druid, which is a Hermit Druid deck, and this finds Hermit Druid.
Right.
So like it's going to be invaluable to creature-based combo decks, and sometimes just like as a toolkit kind of thing, because this is a little bit like not Goblin Recruiter, Goblin Matron.
Right.
It's just like you find some sort of like this is going to be great in Hate Bears because you go find the Hate Bear you need.
Yeah.
And you have a body out as well.
Yeah,
which is like,
exactly.
I need to go find Kataki War's Wage with this, or Gadok Teague.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You can find the guy that says Notion Thief. You can find Notion Thief with this.
Oh my god.
Esper Notion Thief. Yeah. Or like even something like the land lady with the making land. Wow, I'm just like my brain is shut off. There's too much potential for this card.
This card can do too many things.
Find Notion Thief.
So actually, really quickly before we
You can file this in and get Notion Thief.
before we go too further into the newer cards, can one of you tell me, because I don't know how this works, how do these cards work in other formats? Like cards from
Okay, so
this
conspiracy
set.
cards that are printed in a conspiracy set are legal in Vintage and Legacy, and any cards that are a reprint that are legal in Standard or Modern are legal in those formats.
Yeah.
So cards that we will be talking about later, Serum Visions and Inquisition of Kozilek are both because they are printed here. Not because they are reprinted here, because they were already legal in Modern. These reprints are legal in Modern.
Yeah.
So how does it work for Canadian Highlander?
Everything in this set is legal, except for the ones that's. I mean, except for the conspiracies.
Yeah, right.
You can't play those.
No.
But,
Because they have no effect.
and you ordinarily would not play any of the ones that refer to the draft.
Right.
Except there may be one we're going to get to that you'll see why.
Okay.
Yeah, so Conspiracy 1 was a great bonanza for Canadian Highlander because it was just like a big pile of vintage cards out of nowhere.
Right.
And now here's another one that's even more amazing cards and reprints. So
Paul, what you
we're
got?
stoked.
So this Recruiter of the Guard would not be playable in normal Modern.
No, you can't play it
no.
in Modern, can't play it in Standard. You can play it in EDH.
Oh yeah, and everything is going to be legal in EDH.
Or Commander, EDH.
Yeah, so like
Commander
eternal
EDH.
formats
Legacy,
you can play
yeah.
this.
Yeah, just not modern and not standard.
And
Or
obviously the ones that are, the conspiracies
Yeah,
aren't
those.
legal anywhere else.
But those will look great in your cube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know a lot of people who play conspiracy cards, especially like there was the one from the previous set that added an additional booster to the draft.
Yeah.
Which was just, I think the one that everybody was the most stoked
super
about.
excited to see that
Everybody
card.
wanted to see that card opened. I know a lot of people who just auto include that in their in their cubes because it just adds this level of complexity and silliness.
Yeah,
honestly,
kind of delight.
Yeah, that you're not going to get anywhere else. So
It's like the only. It feels like an uncard. Like it feels
It
like
does,
booster
yeah.
tutor.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Like if they, yeah, I like this as an unset that is actually useful
I kind of feel that
instead of just like oh the lol.
I kind of get the feeling that conspiracy was born out of the fact that they couldn't do another end set. Like I honestly I have no information on this. It's just my guess, but I feel like there are a lot of people inside Wizards who loved the unsets and who really wanted to keep doing them, but they don't make sense. Like they're very silly. I can't imagine they make a whole lot of money, and in this day and age, it just doesn't seem like it's ever going to happen.
I imagine they get that out once a year when they do the holiday promo, which is
Yeah.
always an uncard.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
So-
we know for a fact that Mark Rosewater
like loves.
Oh, that
loves the
yeah.
stuff. So, I mean, really, there doesn't have to be like a whole lot of, incentive to do it because he's the head of the
Yeah.
system. So, but I think conspiracy is probably used in the same way that some of the unstuff was in terms of almost kind of testing
Like
mechanics.
really crazy ideas.
Testing
Yeah.
weird mechanics, which then might filter their way back into standard in a more civilized fashion.
yeah.
But I kind of like that. I like if the choice, in my opinion, if the choice is between another unset or the conspiracy, I'm gonna just pick conspiracy all day long. I think conspiracy just it has the goofiness and the silliness and the lightheartedness of the unsets, but it also just actually works. Whereas
Yeah.
the unset, you do a draft and you're like, okay, like that was silly and fun and okay.
Now I can't do anything
but
with
I
these
don't,
cards.
I don't. I can't do anything with these cards, and I don't really want to do that again anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because I've drafted Unhinged once, and it was weird, and I don't really have any desire to do it again. I could be in the minority, I admit that, but I love Conspiracy, and I think that it's filling a great role
Well, let's
Yeah.
look
in
at more.
Magic. Yeah, let's look at more cards.
What's
So
next?
what do we got next?
Sanctum Prelate.
Oh,
Cam, what does
man.
this card do?
It is a human cleric. She is a 2/2 for 1 white. As Sanctum Prelate enters the battlefield, choose a number. Non-creature spells with converted mana cost equal to the chosen number can't be cast. What the?
I'm thinking.
What the? Who?
4?
No.
Oh, what about 1?
Scoop.
2?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is like.
Who's responsible?
This might be. It's not technically a hate bear, but it's a hate bear, and what a humdinger this is.
Yeah.
What? No.
Like this is a really like nutso hoser. It's basically a mono white Gadok
What?
Teague that you get to pick what number gets hosed.
Right.
What the? Who?
It's symmetrical, so it's totally
It's
fair.
fair.
Yeah, because
Both
Chalice of the
players.
Void is totally a cool card.
Oh yeah, you can totally pick 0.
Yeah.
Oh man, no,
Alright,
but
so this card's broken Cam apparently.
yeah. So a creature-based hate bear style deck loves this because you're just playing out your Thalias.
Oh, and you can find it with Recruiter.
Yeah, it's a wombo.
It's a wombo combo.
It's wombo o'clock.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you just play this out and you just you pick 4 if you want to put your opponent off planeswalkers for the rest of the game. You pick 2 to put them off removal, maybe 1 to put them off removal,
Well, yeah, if you
it
put them
just-
off 1, that's like all the good removal cards.
and all the good cantrips.
So does this
Yeah.
is this one of your picks or your picks?
His.
It was also my pick.
So this is another
Oh,
this is another card that you think is going to make a splash in Highlander? Sweet.
This will assuredly be played in Highlander. No doubt.
Do you have a counterspell, or have you lost the game?
It's like a tiny little what's that the white card that gets played in Reanimator where it's like pick a color and they can't cast spells.
Iona.
Yeah, it's like a teeny Iona.
Yeah.
which
That's
is
true.
nuts.
All right, what do we got next? Next up is
Ballot
the
Broker.
Ballot Broker.
It's
Cameron.
just a common 2/3 for 3 in white. While voting, you may vote an additional time.
Dang.
Like we had a couple of these effects in the first
Yep.
the first conspiracy set, where you had a black zombie that if somebody voted against you, they lost a life.
Yep.
And there was a white card that allowed you to vote an extra time. But I think both of those were uncommons in that set.
I like the flavor on
I
this.
think they were both uncommons. And I just like this effect at common because it's a relevant body.
Yep. Yeah, 2 for 3, 2/3 for 3, always good.
Yeah.
Always like that card.
And there may be a few of them going around. So, like,
I enjoy that its subtype is advisor.
yeah.
I advise you to fucking cheat.
Yeah, no, this is a great little card.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, what's up next?
So just some of the cards, but for example, here's a new voting card.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so
Okay, yes, the new voting mechanic.
yeah, in the previous set you had Will
Councils,
of the Council,
yeah.
where everybody votes for one of two things.
Yep.
And if one or the other wins, that happens, or if the vote's tied, the second thing happens. This one's different. So, Council's Dilemma, for
Okay,
this
so-
card specifically,
Yeah. When Lieutenants of the Guard enters the battlefield, starting with you, each player votes for strength or numbers. Put a +1/+1 counter on Lieutenants of the Guard for each strength vote, and put a +1 1/1 soldier creature onto the battlefield for each numbers vote. So
you can get both.
yeah, well, you do get both, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Instead of one or the other, it's both
Yeah.
in some quantity.
Yeah,
as
and
decided by
I just like,
everybody else.
you know, it's a neat little flavor thing with Marchesa as the new queen, or as the monarch, right?
Yeah.
Like that. I like the idea that life on Paliano is now much more kind of under her heel. Like there's the illusion of choice.
Yeah.
Right.
And then when the ballot broker comes in there, like
Yeah, that
in
seems
combo
pretty
with
good.
that one,
Yeah.
You just get a
That's
four-
actually-
It's not just who wins; it's the number of votes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right,
So,
so
strict
re-
numbers are much more important.
right. So rather than your lieutenants of the guard being max 6/6, now they're max 7/7 if you
Yeah.
wanted to, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. No, that's a good catch,
It's
Paul.
a
Thank
big
you.
humdinger.
Which I mean, voting like that can, like, you can talk to your opponents, right? Like, if you just say, all right, how about we all vote for the +1/+1? I have this piece of removal. I'll just kill it, and then the most you get out of that vote is you get the 2/2 body, or you get the 5/5 body that maybe will survive for another turn or so, and a 1/1.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
So,
I wonder how
It's a very politically based.
how
game.
Council's Dilemma is going to filter into Highlander, because Will of the Council was amazing in Highlander because it was always a stacked vote.
Yeah.
Because of the clause where if the vote's tied, the second item on the list happens. You got cards like Council's Judgment, which is just like
That's a big one. Yeah.
exile a thing.
Yeah.
Also, you can't respond to it,
Yeah.
and it hits things with hexproof, which is pretty stupid.
Yeah. Or the
Because
portal.
there's only two players. Sorry?
and the portal.
Oh yeah,
Right.
coercive portal. Also,
which
it's
just
just
drew you cards.
draw another card every turn.
Yeah.
No, you don't get a choice.
No.
But yeah, those were really good. The new mechanic could be interesting because
Yeah.
you always get something. It's going to be the worst. That's like the worst thing for you, but it might still be fine.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. There might be at least one playable with that mechanic. We'll see.
Sweet. All right. What's our next card, Paul?
Spire Phantasm. This is one of the ones that I thought was really interesting.
It's an
It is a
illusion.
gargoyle illusion for 2 blue. You get a 3/2 flyer. Reveal Spire Phantasm as you draft it. The next time a player drafts a card from this booster pack, guess that card's name. Then that player reveals the drafted card. When Spire Phantasm enters the battlefield, if you guessed correctly for a card named Spire Phantasm, draw a card.
So
Okay, for one thing, this is a 3-power flyer for 4 mana in blue, which is better than usual. Usually we're looking at 3/3 flyers in blue for 5 mana. So this is relevant. I like this
Yeah.
body.
I mean, so this gets worse the sooner you pick it, right? Because if you
Not necessarily, because the more cards are in the pack, you can the more likely there are powerful cards in the pack. Later on in the
That's
pack,
true, actually, yeah.
like if you pick this up like fourth
I guess middle of the road is the worst time to pick it
yeah,
up, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
but like in pack 2 right? Or pack 3 is probably when this is almost like a lock,
Right.
right? When you're like, I know for a fact because you've looked at pack 2 and you know what's coming to you, right? You can look at it and say like, okay, well, I'm pretty sure the player to my left is in white or in red, or they're cutting me on blue. So like, I'm going to name the card that I know. But it like this is just a great card for like feeling like you've got the soul read on people.
Yeah.
And for drafting, like for cutting and drafting well.
Yeah.
This card is just a little bit of a reward, and I like it a lot.
So do you think like so just to be clear, basically this card switches between either a vanilla flying 3/2 for 4
Just probably fine.
or a 3/2 for 4
That draws you.
that draws you a card when you
Yeah.
cast it. Now, do you think if you're when you're drafting and then when you're making your deck, do you think whether you succeeded in the draft part to make it a card that draws you, that makes it so it draws you a card? Do you think that could be the decision as to whether it goes into your deck or not, or is this
Definitely. Like 3/2 for 4 is probably like a fine 23rd. It's not something I'm super excited about, but one that draws you a card I think is actually quite good.
Yeah, like if this was 3 in a blue, I think it would just be an auto include. I think the fact
yeah,
that
the-
it's
the double blue is much
I think
harder.
the fact that it's double blue makes it just that much harder to cast. I feel like this card's probably always going to get in my blue deck. Just this thing is going to be able to trade up pretty easy, especially against other flyers. So I like that fact. But I think it just gets like this card gets just so much better if you always get to draw that extra card.
Yeah.
Like a 3/2 for 4 that draws you a card is just like, yes.
Yeah.
Give me that in every deck. I'll take 2. Right.
Yeah. Like replacing itself is I'm very happy with this card, and I think it's a really interesting effect in draft. Like I don't ever remember anyone playing like the Cogwork Spies. Or the Clockwork Spies, like
No,
those effects.
yeah.
Like I don't even remember if people played things like what was it, Canal Dredger, the one that actually brought in the extra pack.
Yeah, you just get the effect and then you'd never play the card.
Yeah, because they were
Which is
usually
kind of a shame.
Yeah. Those cards were definitely more about the effect than the card. I like that there are more cards in this set that reward you for taking the card as well.
Yeah.
Like the card actually has value after the fact that you've drafted it, which I think is kind of neat. I haven't honestly paid enough attention to the spoilers, so I don't know if that's a common theme with a lot of the new cards. I hope it is, because I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But this is a kind of thing, again, if you haven't played Conspiracy ever before, this is the kind of thing that you can expect to be happening during the draft. The draft is just, it has such a different feel than your standard Magic draft. There's a lot more open information. Everybody's just sort of a lot looser and having a lot more fun with it. So I'm really excited to try this out. So,
Well,
all right.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but if for some reason you end up with a second one of this card during the draft, as long as you guessed correctly for one of them,
Yes.
both of them would draw you a card,
Yes.
which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So once you guess correctly for the first one, then subsequent ones, if they show up, it's an uncommon. So maybe another one will show up.
I mean, it's uncommon that you're
become
gonna
that
get
much better.
Yep.
Yeah.
okay.
All right, what do we got next? Next up is Illusion of Choice.
Again, another voting card. It's a 1 blue mana instant.
Okay.
You choose how each player votes this turn. Draw a card.
So that's interesting. So this is the kind of card that, if the three of us are playing a game and Alex plays a voting card, you respond by playing this card. And then not only do you control that vote, which
You
means
get to cantrip.
not only are you going to get to control that vote and get the best outcome for you and the worst for us, you also get to replace this card.
Yeah.
Which is just obscene. Like I honestly feel like you could strike draw a card from this card, and it would still not. It would probably not be as good, but it would still be like playable and just fun, right?
Yeah.
Like this is just the kind of card that you want to be playing in Conspiracy when you can be like, I'm just gonna vote for everybody. Haha.
Lol.
I love the idea of having like a big political discussion about how to vote for something, it's like, come on, guys, we gotta vote this way so we can knock this guy out of the game, and go back and forth for like a while, and then being like, you know what? I'm just gonna play this.
I do love the name of the card.
Yeah.
I love the idea of the illusion of choice.
I like that it's Marchesa's hand.
Oh, really?
You can tell by all the rings.
Well, it's also
Oh, yeah, okay.
that her ballot is being fed into a rift in time and space.
Yeah.
That's where ballots
not going
go, right?
anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or is it then Marchesa's hand?
I don't know. Could be anybody.
I like also good flavor text. Please vote with a clear head and a vigilant heart, knowing each voice is meaningful regardless of the outcome.
Nice.
Yikes.
Love it.
All right.
All right, what do we got next?
Arcane Savant. 3 blue for a 3/3 human wizard.
Okay.
This is another drafting matters card. Before you shuffle your deck to start the game, you may reveal this card from your deck and exile an instant or sorcery card you drafted that isn't in your deck.
Wait, what?
When Arcane Savant enters the battlefield, copy a card you exiled with cards named Arcane Savant. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost.
Nuts.
What the crap is going on in
It's
this card?
really, really great.
So-
So weird.
You can draft an off-color
Instant or sorcery.
instant or sorcery, and when you play this card, you get a 3/3 body, and you get to cast that spell for free.
What the crap? This card
Yeah.
is sweet.
Yeah, isn't it insane?
Holy shit, I love this card. And I love the idea of revealing it. I like that it's like, oh
It's
my
like,
god.
just
I love
FYI,
card.
this is in my deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shuffle, 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 and boop, and oh my god. I love
Yeah.
it. This card is fantastic.
Yeah, so
very
you
cool.
can like not only can you cast off-color stuff, which is cool, but like there's like that 9 mana blue sorcery.
Oh, yeah, the one that does take control of everything?
Yeah,
Oh god.
that you can just do with this, or yeah. I think this
nuts.
is fun. It's versatile.
Okay, this is
It's not a
amazing.
completely irrelevant body.
This is
No,
gonna,
it's not.
This is going
I
to
mean-
make it into a lot of cubes, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a 3 mana, or it's a 3/3/5 drop, which isn't, I mean, great, but
It's a 3/3/5 drop that might be casting you
yeah,
something.
that might be casting you just
bonkers.
whatever you need to win the game.
Yeah.
God, this card is sweet. I
And
love
it's
this card
also
so
oh,
much.
can we go back? Sorry. Expropriate, that's the
Yeah,
one.
that's the one.
Also, it's when it enters the battlefield.
Oh,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So you can flicker it.
yeah. That's
And
Recast it?
yeah,
Oh,
because
wow.
you may copy the spell exiled with it.
right.
yeah. Oh my
That's-
god. Right. So you're not
And
actually
if you have
casting
2
it.
of them, if somehow your pod opens 2 of these guys and you get both of them, you can have a choice.
Oh my god. This card looks
yeah, all
sweet.
right,
I want
all
to
right,
draft this card
all right.
very, very much.
All right.
Like I saw this and I'm like, oh, I remember these guys. These guys always just die. Oh, wait, what?
What?
All right, this is
All
sweet.
right.
I'm excited. This is
Yeah.
this is easily the most exciting card I've seen in the set so far.
What
All
do we
right,
got next?
What do we got next?
Oh, man. Okay, so Archdemon of Paliano. This is one of my picks.
Okay.
2 black for a 5/4 flyer.
What?
Draft it face up. As long as it's face up during the draft, you can't look at booster packs and must draft cards at random. After you draft 3 cards this way, turn it face down.
Okay, I love
This is going to be a weird card in draft.
Yeah, because it, like, okay, it messes with you, but it also, like,
Is
goozles
enormous.
signaling,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when we started discussing this card on the Highlander thread, somebody just erased all the text that wasn't flying.
Flying, yeah.
It's a 5/4 with flying with 0 downside in constructed. 0, nothing. There is no downside.
Right.
It's still competing with other cards like the big demons that do have a downside
Yeah.
and are maybe like arguably more
Okay,
powerful.
like
they
Butcher
have.
of the Horde or, what is it, the Archdemon of Depravity?
Or
which is
the
arguably
Mind
a
Rack
downside.
Demon is the new one because
Yeah.
it has trample.
Then there's the one where you can't win the game if it's...
Yeah, I was gonna. So I was
Yeah.
gonna say, is a 5/4 flyer for 4?
I think that's nuts myself.
Is it okay?
But
is it better than Tombstalker?
it's hard to say. Like this is going to get. It's easier to cast than Tombstalker.
That's for sure. yeah.
Both of those cards are great. So I don't know. I think bare minimum, this card's going to be like a budget all-star because it's so aggressive and so cheap, and there's no drawback at all.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
That's sweet.
I think that this is going to find its way into decks. Maybe it'll be marginally played, but I think it will definitely be played.
God, I love the mechanic of
It's very goofy.
of drafting this thing face up and then just no scoping 3 of your
It's like,
picks.
boop, boop, boop,
But just like, and you just have to sell those picks.
Yeah.
You just have to be like, do this card, and then look at it and be like, yes, and then do this card, yes, and then just no sell the fact
Yeah.
that you just like, oh, I love it. I'm excited. God, this set
What a
looks sweet.
dilemma this gives you if you're thinking of first picking it. You're like, ugh.
I
Well,
don't.
I don't think it's a
think you
dilemma
do.
at all.
God.
Like, I don't.
Do you
like,
first pick this? That could
It's a
be.
conspiracy. Dude, think of it as an like the stakes are never lower.
No, well, that's fair, but you still like. I still want to win going in,
Well,
and
yeah.
I feel like first picking this.
Come on, it'd be so sweet because it would mess everybody up.
I'm gonna do it. Okay, look. If next week when we do the draft and I'm on camera and this is presented to me,
You're gonna take it.
100%.
You know,
100 out
just
of 100
change this
times.
text so it's like
I'm doing that.
draft it face up, hate draft 3 times, then resume normal drafting.
Yeah, but it's just like that feels.
Skill draft.
It just feels really bad when you take this and that first, and then you random pick like 3 excellent blue cards by some weird miracle, and then there's just no more black ever, and you're like, no. But at that point, you're okay with it too, I guess.
Dude, just
so.
ride the demon.
Yeah.
Ride the demon.
And the
I
person
love
to your
it.
right cuts you on black.
Yeah, exactly. All right, what do we got next?
Thorn of the Black Rose, which is a 1/3 with Death Touch for 3 and a black. She is a human assassin. When Thorn of the Black Rose enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch.
There's a bunch of cards like this, and it
I
took me
do.
a while to see
right.
what it did.
What
I
is
like
a
that-
monarch?
The Monarch is one player in your game is the Monarch. They have the Monarch token. The Monarch token reads during your
End step, you draw a card.
Yes.
And
Okay. Does somebody
when you
does
when
somebody
you
start the
take
game?
when you take no, it only materializes in the game from a card that specifically
So-
references it.
Okay.
So if you play this card, a Monarch token is created and assigned to you,
Okay.
presumably in the command zone,
Yep.
Yeah.
like an emblem.
Yep.
And it is an emblem that can change owners.
Yeah.
Because if you are the Monarch and you take damage from creatures, I think it's just creatures, just combat damage. It might be any damage. You give it to the person who dealt that damage to you.
Oh, so this is like replacing the
The,
dethrone
yeah.
mechanic?
It's like a weird sort of Howling Mine.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I just like that this is at common. So
Yeah,
that
I mean-
the Monarch will be like changing hands kind of like dramatically during the game.
Yeah.
So I don't. We were talking about this earlier during the Crack-A-Pack. You mentioned that the 1/3 is your favorite body. I'm not crazy about 1/3s. 1/3s with Death Touch, yes.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
This is
All
gonna kill
day.
everything.
It literally kills everything, and it can survive 1 power and 2 power creatures, and I love that. I think it's great. It
this
just
actually
it just stops
a
everything.
common. This
Yeah.
might be really good.
Yeah. So
Especially with cards in Conspiracy that, like the Conspiracy cards that allow you to name a creature card,
Right.
that give it a bonus.
Yeah.
Like if you could pick up like 2 or 3 of these and give it +1/+1 or some other kind of ability,
yeah,
I think you're feeling pretty good.
yeah. How does Monarch work in Highlander?
We're still waiting on it, but we think that it's going to work the way we want it to, which is, as I said, a player casts a spell that makes them the Monarch. They become the Monarch, and then when they take damage, it changes
trades-
the other
it
and
can
trades
go
back and forth. Which means
interesting.
that like cards that make you the Monarch are probably going to be pretty good, but I don't know what deck's in.
Right.
Like-
I mean, you need to get the. I mean, we don't even know the full spoiler yet.
Yeah, we'll
so
see.
We'll figure that out.
I think I like the mechanic a lot. I think it has potential to be very good. I mean, things that draw you extra cards are kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Anything that ever draws you an extra card is sweet.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got next?
Subterranean
Oh,
Tremors.
God. Okay, this card I saw yesterday.
So
and love
I just
this.
want to put this out there. A bunch of us in the Highlander group saw this card and we're like, this is so cool. It will never see play in Highlander. It will never see play in Highlander. But it's so cool. This is for sure going to be like an EDH all-star.
All right, what does
You
it
think
do?
you think it won't? In
In
Highlander?
Highlander, no. It's
okay.
not good. Like Earthquake is just better.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
X and a red, sorcery. Subterranean Tremors deals X damage to each creature without flying.
Okay.
If X is 4 or more, destroy all artifacts.
Okay.
If X is 8 or more, put an 8/8 red lizard creature token onto the battlefield.
The market
love-
is now closed.
Yeah, I love that.
This is so cool because it's like, oh, if it's a little tremor, it's like, oh, what was that? If it's a big tremor, it's like, oh no, our buildings are coming down. And then it's like, oh, I see what was causing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah. This.
I
Card,
like this
card.
card.
Is pretty amazing.
Why a lizard? Why not an
An aberration?
Yeah, so it could be an actual graboid.
Yeah, that'd be good. But
Why not?
Still,
I don't know. I love this card. This card
it's
is
very
amazing.
cool. Yeah, no, this is gonna blow some people right out.
Yeah,
It's like,
I'm hoping to pick this card. All
Well,
right.
especially in Conspiracy, where the games typically go to like
yep.
turn 20.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, if you get to turn 20 and play this card, it's just
This
like
this
neat,
could
game's
be
over.
just the I win now button.
But that's great because sets like this need that card, right? Like
Yeah.
sets like
need
like this
some sweepers.
need sweepers where it's just like this game
Yeah,
has been
you-
going on for an hour and a half. This is the stop button, or at least
Yeah.
this is
like
the
you need things to break up board jams.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next up is Grenzo Havoc Razor.
So, we've been trying to assess this card because like every time a new goblin gets printed, we're like, is it gonna make it into goblins?
Right.
This one, maybe,
Okay.
maybe. It's a 2/2 for red. So probably mono red goblins.
Right.
Like there's not a lot of variance on it. There's red goblins that will splash for green occasionally and splash for black occasionally.
Okay.
But they're almost always mono red.
Okay.
Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, choose one. And your choices are goad target creature that player controls, which means until your next turn, they attack if able, and they attack a player other than you if able.
Yeah.
So in 1v1, that's just going to be like a provoke effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes their attacks bad.
Okay.
The next one's way more interesting, maybe. Exile the top card of that player's library. Until end of turn, you may cast that card, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it.
That seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
That could be really good. It could be good. I don't know. It's almost like this card is very close to being an Edric
Okay.
for
Yes.
goblins.
Right.
Because it has the sort of red impulse effect, but it's for your opponent's library,
Right.
but it fixes your mana for it. So I don't know. I think it really depends on the matchup. And
Can you hit land with this?
No, you have to cast it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, it's exiled and then you can
Yeah,
cast
if you
it from
could
exile.
if you could play lands, this would be amazing,
Yeah.
probably. But it's just like, I don't know. Against a low curve deck, maybe you get to cast some stuff. Against a control deck or something where you're flipping 6-drops, it's like, I may as well have not done anything.
Yeah.
The other thing that makes this more interesting, though, is this triggers for every creature you hit them with. If I'm...
Oh,
Yeah.
what? Huh.
I
Whenever
think
a
that's how
creature
that
you
works.
control
Whenever
deals.
So-
yeah, whenever a
so
creature
maybe-
you control deals damage to a player, choose one. So this triggers off every instance.
Yeah, Goblins plays a lot of creatures. So if you
Yeah.
hit them with like 4 creatures and you're just like, what
Trigger,
is there
trigger,
something
trigger.
useful in here?
Yeah.
Oh, this'll do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, mono
maybe
goblin mill.
Maybe you just get to play Vindicate or like Path to Exile or something.
Or you just blow away 4 cards off their library.
Yeah.
You just kill them with Mill. That won't happen.
No.
But yeah, it's certainly one that we have our eyes on. We'll see.
Cool. All right. What do we get next?
Oh man.
You come at the queen. you
Speaking
best
Speaking
not
of
miss.
Mardu.
So speaking of Mardu and Monarch cards, I read this card first and I was like, eh, and then because I didn't know what being the Monarch meant,
Right.
and I thought it was like a set specific thing. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that changes everything. 1 red, white, black for a 3/3 with Death Touch and Haste.
Seems
That's
it's okay.
Yeah.
pretty okay.
Yeah. I mean, what that same casting cost will get you.
Yeah, so it's like,
the
okay,
big
that's
demon guy.
weird. When
sure.
she enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. So on your end step, you draw a card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if this gets killed immediately.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's good.
And then Monarch is in play for the rest of the game.
Yes,
Which is interesting.
but then at the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent is the Monarch, you get a 1/1 black assassin creature token with Death Touch and Haste. So if they hit you and they become the Monarch, you start gaining advantage from that,
Yeah.
and a type of advantage that will help you get it back anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how this is going to play. It might be really great. It might be goofy. I'm excited to try it because it
Yeah, it looks sweet.
Yeah.
looks sweet. I
Yeah.
think I like it.
Awesome.
I love the implication of this card for the world of Conspiracy. Is not that like you have your king or your queen who is like a dynasty of staying the king for a really long time. Like the Monarch, rather than being somebody who is the ruler for a really long time,
Yeah.
the successful Monarch is just somebody who can get the crown back really quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
getting the crown is actually really easy.
Yeah. Holding the
Holding
crown.
the crown, and so to be a successful Monarch, what you want to do is not just holding the crown more strongly. It's having a band of assassins that immediately kills anybody who tries to take the crown from you.
Death touch and haste.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's not till end of turn either.
So here's-
they pile up.
Yeah.
So like your bad scenario here is you play, well, one of them anyways. You play Marchesa. End step you draw a card. Their turn, they attack you. You have like no good blocks. You're like, okay, hit me. They take the crown.
Yeah.
Draw a card. Your upkeep, you make an assassin that can attack that turn.
Yeah.
And you just go after them. And just what is even happening?
Yeah. This seems sweet. I'm really
Yeah,
excited.
I
for
like
this.
it.
All right, I think that is it for the new cards we wanted to talk about today. We
Except
now
for the
have
Planeswalkers.
Yeah, except for the Planeswalkers, but we'll get to them in a minute. Let's spend some time talking about a couple reprints that we're pretty excited about.
Holy cow!
What do we got up first in the reprint sector?
Serum Visions.
Finally!
Yeah. Serum
Cam,
Visions.
Cam,
Yeah.
are you aware that they reprinted Serum
What?
Visions in Conspiracy?
Oh, I hadn't heard.
How many people
Oh,
hit you up on Twitter
like
over the last
70.
like couple days, being like, "Hey Cam, they reprinted Serum Visions."
Also, are you going to do another 24-hour stream now?
What?
Apparently, like a couple of years ago, I said like if they ever reprint Serum Visions, then I'll do a 24-hour stream. And what I should have said, which was what I meant, was that if we ever get Serum Visions
In standard, you'll do a 24-hour stream.
yeah, and
So-
then it got reprinted as a judge foil, or no,
like,
as an
"Don't!"
F&M foil, and I was like, because people were like not shutting up about it, so I was like, fine, I'll do a 24-hour stream, and I did, and it was fine.
Sweet.
And now we're getting Serum Visions again because this was a $15 card.
So does
hope
do
that drives
those
that price down a
24-hour
bit.
stream stack? Are we getting another one?
Sure, why not?
Good luck finding 24 straight hours where
So
we're not
this
streaming.
is this is one of the worst of the 1 mana
Yeah,
cantrip
which is
filter
like-
spells, but it's still good.
Yeah, it's like people on the subreddit were like, well, whatever, it's still a bad card, and if you play it, you're
okay.
bad. And it's like, no, it's actually a pretty good card. It's not as good as Ponder or Preordain or
Yeah.
Brainstorm
But-
or Ancestral.
but it's
it's-
still good.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah,
a
it's like
very
people
good,
don't poop on
powerful
Ponder because they
cards.
can't play Ancestral Recall.
Oh, by
Yeah.
the way, Serum Visions, 1 blue sorcery, draw a card,
Then
scry
scry
2.
two.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can
It's
see.
it's preordained backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it-
Preordained actually a better card because you scry first.
Yeah.
although like in certain situations, this lets you look deeper.
Yeah, you go 3 cards down.
Yeah, like you always go 3 cards down, whereas Preordain or Ponder, you are probably just drawing the thing you need, and then, like,
It's it's in there.
but yeah, there are certain situations where this can be better, but they're far off and they're marginal.
I think the one
but
below
it's still
this
a very good card.
is Sleight of Hand.
Yeah,
It's like look at the top 2, put 1 in your hand and 1 on the bottom.
yeah.
All right. Next reprint is. What do we got? Oh,
Inquisition.
of
Finally.
Monarch. Yeah,
Yeah.
this one has been a long time coming. I love that it's a rare now.
Also, what is even happening in this?
It's a
Image.
faceless vampire headbutting another vampire,
Okay,
Obviously.
and it's got the Kozilek obsidian.
crown, I guess.
Yeah,
So this was an uncommon from Rise. Was it from Rise?
Yep.
Yes,
Which I think in recent past has gotten up to
like $40
like
or something.
Something stupid.
for an uncommon. Some just
I-
completely obscene.
I
Price
had
for
to
an
lie
uncommon.
down when I found that its price point went past Thoughtseize, and I was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
yeah. Meanwhile, there's some weird stuff happening in the Magic economy. Like Kitchen Finks is almost $20 now.
What?
I know. It
Wow.
doesn't make sense.
I have not paid attention. I did
It's
not know
yeah.
that was obscene.
I don't know, man.
So very happy to see this is this gets played in Modern, correct?
Yeah,
Well, this gets played in
This gets played
almost
in,
everything. It
almost
gets played in
everything,
Legacy
yeah.
a little bit. Like it's sort of below or sometimes beside Thoughtseize. Because like Thoughtseize is basically top of the heap.
Yeah.
But this is also very, very good.
It's interesting that they reprinted it. They've bumped it up to rare.
well, I mean, like it's not very good in a multiplayer draft format.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
Like, it's actually kind of bad, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't seem super great. It definitely feels like it's here because it needed a reprint. Like, it absolutely.
Yeah, it had, like, they needed to reprint this because
Yeah.
its price was out of control. Although they don't acknowledge the secondary market at all. But, like, this needed to come down in price quite a lot. And I think they either was, like, the decision Wizards has, especially for a draft set like this, is, like, this card is bad in draft, but it needs a reprint. So we don't want this being forced into people's decks.
Yeah.
Which means it's either common, so that there's a lot of them floating around, and that the pick priority on it is very low.
Yeah.
Or you bump it up to rare.
Yeah, and that way
that
it doesn't
means
show
there's-
up as often.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. Like, I definitely would prefer them to just bump this up to rare, so I don't see it as much. Because the fact is that a lot of people who can play, who are going to go out there and play Conspiracy, don't probably care about Inquisition of Kozilek so much. At least they're going to see it and they're going to be like, "Yay, free money!" But they're not going to be like, "Yay, good card for my draft deck," because it's not really.
Yeah.
So
Although, like, the art on this is great.
The art
I
on
love,
this is
especially considering the old Inquisition of Kozilek, which
I like that art.
I like it
it's
too.
bad.
I don't. I'm one of those.
It's much worse.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so worse.
All right.
It's
we can see it right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
I like this one.
Yeah,
that
I
guy's
know.
having a bad day.
But what is he?
What set is that from?
It's a guy being...
That's from that's the dual deck.
Yeah,
no,
it
no,
was-
sorry, that's modern. The modern event deck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The tokens one.
Right. All right. Reprint number 3 is
Da-da-da-da.
Phyrexian
Arena.
Arena.
Sweet
Picked-
new art.
Yeah,
sweet old card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we picked this one more because of the fantastic new art, which was
Poor Koth of the Hammer can't catch a break for anything.
So was there? I'm not super into the story of Magic. Was there a question as to whether or not Koth was still alive?
I think it was
And-
pretty clear at the end of New Phyrexia that Koth was alive.
Because I thought I remember seeing either on Reddit or on Twitter that, wait, does this card confirm that Koth is still alive? And I feel like I remember someone saying, yes, that's what this means.
Well,
but
I mean,
maybe
like,
I'm
Koth was still fighting. They had gone into who was the red Praetor?
Oh, I know the one you're talking about, but I
Yeah.
don't remember his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one who's just like, don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, who was like, no, I'm an embodiment of red Phyrexian mana, and therefore, like, I'm pretty cool with chaos.
Right.
But I had heard
Just
that
leave it.
that Predator's realm was crushed by Elishnorn.
Okay.
What a jerk.
Yeah. So I guess it was up in the air whether Koth was still alive or not.
All right.
You
Well,
can't put that guy down.
maybe
But yeah, he
he
seems
He
like
had
he's
never seen a body
maybe this is confirmation. Paul?
But I mean, the original Phyrexian Arena
or a Brask.
Yes.
wasn't on
Wasn't
Mirrodin.
on
No,
it wasn't on
right.
Mirrodin. It was
No.
in it was.
I mean, I imagine
So there-
Phyrexia has a lot of
Phyrexian
arenas.
arenas are wherever the Phyrexians want to set
Yeah,
one
it's
up.
just like that.
Yeah.
That mud hole is
Yeah.
now Phyrexian Arena.
We put up
Yeah.
a
Get
little
in it.
white picket fence, get inside, that's the arena.
Yeah, if the Black Praetor wants to have a gladiatorial arena,
Yeah.
So
then
what-
I imagine she gets one.
you're saying this is more like Phyrexian mud wrestling?
Look, I mean, you can't
I'd
see
watch
it
it.
so well, but Koth is really oily.
Yeah. Super glistening. Get the foil version of this card and you'll know what we're talking about. All right.
Of course, for Koth, it's kind of it's more like being deep fried than actually
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like boiling oil.
All right.
Oh,
All right,
poor
what's
Koth.
next?
Next reprint.
Holy
Oh yeah, right.
moly.
They've reprinted Berserk.
Holy moly!
What does this card do?
Oh my god! Oh, straight from Alpha. It's 1 green, cast instant, cast Berserk only before the combat damage step.
Okay.
Which is a weird little
It is
So
a
caveat.
very
you can
weird-
cast this after declare blocks and after declare attackers and after declare blocks, right?
Yes.
But before
Yeah.
damage is dealt.
Yeah.
Yes. Target creature gains trample and gets +X+O until end of turn, where X is its power.
Okay.
At the beginning of the next end step, destroy that creature if it attacked this turn.
So in multiplayer, this is actually just sweet.
It's actually really sweet in multiplayer, but like this card is so mega. Just as it's the scariest pump spell ever printed, and it's very difficult to get a hold of.
well, yeah, because
because
this goes into Legacy Infect.
it goes into Legacy Infect. Yes, it must do. I think so, but
Must do.
it's hard to get a hold of because it was only printed in like Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, and then it got a reprint in from the vault.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been really expensive.
Okay.
So a bunch of us are kind of excited about the prospect of a maybe $20 Berserk.
Also, I love this art.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
The art is just fantastic.
Although
This
I
guy's
do
just like,
actually have
"Rah."
a soft spot for the original art. I don't know if Paul can bring that up.
Oh yeah. If I remember the stupid-
If I'm going to get one, I still kind of want to get a collector's edition because that guy is just...
That's fantastic.
It's so good.
Like good eyes.
Good.
Good eyes.
I like that he's dual wielding too.
Gotta love that original, the wording of the thing too. Until end of turn, target creature's current power doubles, and it gains the trample ability. If it attacks, target creature is destroyed at the end of turn. This spell cannot be cast after the current turn's attack is completed.
What?
So what that means is that you can't like wait for damage to be dealt.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm just gonna Doomblade your
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Love it. All right, next reprint. I think we have one more reprint, right? That we wanted to talk about. Is that correct?
yeah.
Or are we? It was right.
Duskmantle Seer.
Duskmantle
Party
Seer.
Bob.
Party Bob.
Party
Party
Bob.
Bob.
Everybody Bob now.
All right. Where was this originally printed?
This was printed in Dragon's Maze, I
Okay.
believe, or Gate Crash. But it was returned to Ravnica block.
Yeah.
Duskmantle Seer is a 4/4 flying vampire wizard for 2 blue black.
Okay.
It's
At the
pretty
beginning
good.
of your
Yeah.
upkeep, each player reveals the top card of his or her library, loses life equal to that card's converted mana cost, then puts it into his or her hand.
So
This guy apparently actually saw some tournament play
Did it?
in Return to Ravnica Standard before Theros block shook out as either like mono blue devotion or mono black devotion at its inception, right? But there was one GP where this guy showed up in a deck with like a couple of the blue cards and a couple of the black cards.
Crazy.
But yeah, no, I mean like in a multiplayer format, this is so good.
It's pretty cool.
Like this is so good where people are playing like these giant like 7 mana haymaker cards.
yeah.
Like flip. Don't.
Flip dead.
Yeah. Bobby, what you got for me?
Oh no.
Death.
Oh, playing Bob and Bob in this case meaning Dark Confidant and Delve cards is always a very risky proposition.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
So
yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
It's like Tassiger. Oh no.
Tombstalker.
Ooh, it hurts.
By the way, it was Gate Crash. This was originally in
Right.
where it was a mythic.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
yes.
So they've dropped it down to rare.
That
Yeah.
seems correct.
Yeah. I do remember this being a mythic and being like, really? Like,
Yeah.
maybe not.
No. But like a 4/4 flying for 4. Like,
Pretty good.
That's
yeah,
sweet.
like I remember people looking at this ability and being like, it's a
I mean-
4/4 flyer for 4.
Yeah.
Like, remember Conundrum Sphinx?
Yeah. You expect this card to have like a 3/3 body with no keyword abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
what did
it's just
Conundrum
really
Sphinx
good.
do? It's like guess cards or something?
Yeah, it was like, I think it was whenever it, whenever it connected?
Or attacked
you,
or
you
something?
tried to guess the top card of your opponent's library, and if you were correct, you drew a card. Or both players name the top card of their library.
And if you get it correct, you draw it.
Yeah, I think.
Seems pretty
But
good.
it
with
was
top.
also a 4/4 for 4 that people were like, the ability isn't very good. And it's
Who
like,
cares?
It's still a
You just
4/4
crash
for
in,
4.
kill
Yeah.
them, get them.
yeah, whenever Conundrum Sphinx attacks, each player names a card. Then each player reveals the top card of his or her library. If the card a player revealed in is the card he or she named, that player puts it into his or her hand. If it's not, that player puts it onto the bottom of his or her library.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about some new cards. We've talked about some reprints. Let's go back to new cards. Let's talk about the 2 planeswalkers that
man.
have been spoiled thus far. Maybe there's more. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll say the 2 that have been spoiled thus far.
Remember when I said I wanted to rebuild Mardu? I have 2 new reasons to do
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So we actually talked about
Kaya last week.
quite a bit last week.
Okay, so we'll just quickly. Were both of you here for that last
Yes.
week then? Okay, well then.
we love this card.
Yeah, we think it's a really cool card. It explores some really unusual design space for a Planeswalker that I'm really happy to see them like crack open.
Yeah.
Which is like self-exile and coming back with you like when she comes back.
Yeah, she
comes
has
back
no
with her
plus
normal
abilities, but she
loyalty.
does have reset your initial loyalty of 5.
Yeah.
You just rehire her.
Yep.
Yeah, and then like she just gradually attritions your opponent to death. and people were saying like, well, she's an assassin, but she doesn't kill creatures. And it's like,
No,
she
she kills
kills the
players.
only thing on the table that matters, which is your opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this card a lot.
It's very cool.
All right, so the other Planeswalker then, I guess,
This one is
that we
so
haven't talked
weird.
about.
So when I first saw this, the response I posted was like, I've never been so upset to read the word defender on a card before. But I still think this card is pretty good. So Duretti Ingenious Iconoclast is 1 black-red.
Is also just
3 mana for a Planeswalker.
fantastic name.
It's very
Yeah.
cool.
Ingenious Iconoclast.
I'm
love
kind of disappointed that it's not just like summon iconoclast.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty amazing.
So 3 starting loyalty, +1 abilities, put a 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature token with defender onto the battlefield.
Okay.
So that's like, oh, I kind of wish this could attack. But wait, there's more. -1, you may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, destroy target artifact or creature.
That seems really good.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
The ultimate, which you can get to at -6, choose target artifact card in a graveyard
Okay.
or an artifact on the battlefield. Put 3 tokens that are copies of it onto the battlefield.
Sick. I choose Ornithopter.
You lose.
Ah.
So
Blightsteel Colossus!
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, no.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking some sort of weird like red black something, like maybe a third color
I think this
artifact
card invites
style.
like a Grixis stack.
Yeah, I could see
Blue for
Grixis.
like
I mean,
Tinker and...
yeah, like maybe this makes it into some sort of like weird academy style deck
Mm-hmm.
where you just are playing a slower game, just grinding your opponent out with this weird incremental advantage. I want to play this with Hangerback Walker and
Yeah.
PN Kieran.
Yeah.
Maybe even stuff like Shrapnel Blast.
Yeah,
And like
yeah,
Disciple of the Vault. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
there's
I
a
mean,
weird
like,
deck
yeah.
here.
So, like, what kind of artifacts are you playing in that deck then? Are you playing?
like maybe probably stuff that
like
you want
Phyrexian Plank.
Yeah, maybe.
I-
People, we've still been trying to make that good. I feel like signets might be better
Yeah.
because like once they outlive their usefulness, you just start burning them as resources.
Yeah.
Does Wormcoil get played in
Yup.
in Highlander?
You bet your butt it does.
So that would be in this?
Wormcoil is very good. You know what? This deck wants to play Goblin Tinkerer or not Goblin Tinkerer.
Welder.
Goblin Welder.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Goblin Welder deck where you're just like, that's a weird. Do you know that card?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 1 red for a 1/1. You tap it and exchange an artifact on the battlefield and in your graveyard.
Right.
So yeah,
This deck seems kind of. I like what you're.
it could be pretty
You're
wild.
laying out here. I
Yeah.
think this sounds kind of cool.
So there's gonna be some weird stuff.
I have no idea what the actual lore is around this guy, but just from looking at the card, my headcanon is that he's attempting to build like a golem or like a robot army,
Yeah.
and they don't work. Like he builds it, and he's like, "Go attack," and it doesn't do anything.
It's like beep boop.
And then everybody laughs at him, and then he just takes it and throws it at and destroys. And then he finally finds one that works.
And he's like, "Okay, mass produce."
Yeah, make more of that one.
Yeah.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I think I'm.
He's like,
I'm,
"Yeah, your robot sucks, man."
I'm very
"Oh, yeah?
rapidly warming up to
Smash."
this card after the first
Also,
ability.
it's a 3-mana planeswalker.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
3-mana planeswalkers are just.
Have they printed a bad 3-mana
the-
planeswalker?
They're the bee's knees.
They're pretty dumb.
They're great.
Yeah, just because the investment into them is so tiny for so
Yeah.
much return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, Jace Beleren,
Yep.
Liliana of the Veil,
that card's not very good though.
Ashiok.
Ashiok, Nissa.
Yep.
Wasn't there a?
Oh, the Johnny.
There was a
Johnny,
Yeah, there was
yeah.
a 1
Yeah,
white
3-drop
Johnny.
of Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they've
they're
all
all
been
really
like
good.
really good. I mean, again, yeah, Alex nailed it. It's not a big cost, and the return is just it can be pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's also like it's a weird. This is definitely, I think, a build around card. Although maybe I'm wrong about that. Like maybe this could just fit into a deck that is not artifact themed.
Yeah.
But I feel that would be a mistake.
I feel like you're leaving
Like this
a
is
lot of
a
value.
very, very odd card in these colors.
It is. That's
Right.
definitely what I've read a lot of too. Is it doesn't feel like a red-black card, but
Well, it doesn't feel like
that's fun.
oh, in Conspiracy 2, you're getting a Rakdos Planeswalker. And like the immediate thing that you go to with that is like, is it going to be like some weird aggro card that
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
smashes face? And you're like, no, it's a weird like calculating artifact interaction card that
Like,
you need to like nurture for like 12 turns.
Yeah. It's like
And
that.
you're doing weird shit with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I'm in. I'm excited. I
Yeah.
think this card looks sweet.
yeah.
All right, so that's it.
Yeah.
We've talked about a whole bunch of cards. Initial impressions now that you've seen
The set is
Sweet.
so lit. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
The set looks completely
And it's
insane.
probably only going to get better. There's like rumors about certain cards being reprinted
Yeah.
that are unconfirmed that could be enormously spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as of recording, I think we've only seen about a third of the
Yeah.
set. So there's still a ton more to come. Paul, you were going to say something?
I was gonna say, just because I just saw it. What the hell is this card?
I can't.
Okay, you remember all those conspiracies that allow you to name a creature card?
Yeah.
Oh!
What does this card read?
Spy Kit. It's a 2-mana artifact equipment.
Okay.
Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has all names of non-legendary creature cards in addition to its name.
Oh, I understand
Oh, it's
now.
interesting.
So it's
I didn't get it at
it's
first.
pretty
It seems pretty bad.
yeah, it's pretty bad. But it's weird.
I like the spy kit. I like how that works. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Well, it's definitely in keeping with the set.
But yeah, that is a weird card. Oh, actually, before we close out the show, let's just give a really big special shout out to Garbage Fire.
yeah.
Garbage
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
a little
Well,
bit of a round
welcome
of applause,
Garbage
yeah.
Fire. Thank you. You're going to get
Congratulations
linked
for-
so often
for
in
joining
Twitch
us.
chat and on subreddits.
Yeah,
you're like this card, this image macro is just going to show up over and over again in the rest for as long as Magic is played. We will have Garbage Fire to
Yeah.
respond to comments with.
Yeah. So thank you to Watsy for
Yeah.
making a card literally called Garbage Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will be able to post this, and the next reply down will almost always be, "Someone call the police. I just witnessed a murder."
Oh dear.
Oh, dear.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna do it.
In your professional drafting opinion, where do you draft Garbage Fire?
It's
Close
red
to the end.
removal. It's
Yeah, I mean,
Like, it's not
like-
even bad.
Like how big
would-
does it have to be before it's worth
okay. Well, we saw a 3-mana instant 4 damage card
yeah,
earlier this podcast, so I'm pretty happy if I pick this up 5th.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's fine.
yeah. I don't know if it's actually gonna go. I don't think it's ever gonna go that much later than
Yeah,
fifth. I think
like 4th or 5th.
yeah, I think
I'm
that's
feeling
probably
pretty good.
I think that's around where it's
Like
gonna get
you would
tagged.
feel not great if you pick this up 3rd, I think, and you don't want to pick it up 2nd.
No, second seems really bad.
Like 3rd, you're like, oh, the person to my left is going to take this, and it's going to put them in red.
I think
I don't know if
this,
it necessarily puts them in red, but it's
getting
certainly it's a push.
like with hitting for 3 is probably fine.
Yeah. I think
Because
that's like
this
the-
can go
the
to
minimum.
the dome, right?
No.
no,
No, creatures.
Oh, creature. Oh,
Yeah.
Dude, if it
yeah.
could go to the dome, then you'd be trying to pick this last because you could just kill your opponent with
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
no, okay, yeah.
It's also it is an instant though, which is nice, right? Like it,
So I would want to pick this 4th, I think.
I think so too. I think 4 is sort of the magic.
Then again, we
number.
haven't seen the complete spoiler yet,
me.
so we don't know if 3 toughness is
Is
something
where you
that's going
wanna
to
be
show
at.
up
Yeah.
kind of
Also,
a lot. Like
how
we've
much?
seen a couple of 3
how much
toughness creatures.
was there a card in the original that like stole draft picks from other people?
I don't think
No,
so.
I don't think it.
That would probably
stole
mess up
draft
everything.
picks.
Yeah.
There was a similar card to this. There was the creature equivalent of this in the last
Yeah,
set.
yeah,
Yeah.
where you noted at what point you picked it up, and it was like an XX,
Yeah.
Right.
or a star.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's end us there. This is a long podcast. I hope you guys are excited for Conspiracy. Again, I will remind you, August 26th, we are going to be drafting Conspiracy live on AFK, twitch.tv/LoadingReadyRun. I hope you guys come and join us. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be there. Graham's going to be there. These two guys are going to be here.
Hi.
Hi.
Ian's going to be there. It's going to be fun times. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a great stream. So make sure to be there. This set comes out on the 26th. Get yourselves down to your local game store. Get going on a box with a group of your 7 friends. Draft the set. I think it's going to be an absolute riot. I think it's going to be amazing. So definitely go check it out.
Sleeper hit of the summer.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. So thank you guys so much for listening and watching to the podcast this week. As always, it is brought to you by you guys over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, which I think is down here. You should go check that out. This podcast, like everything, is made possible because of your support there. So we really appreciate it. So thank you so much if you're a Patreon supporter. If you're not, go check it out. Maybe thinking about becoming one. Just maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Anyways,
Do it.
guys.
Do it.
You guys have anything else to say?
I'm looking forward to checking this out. It's gonna be
Yeah.
sweet.
I meant
Watch
about
your
life.
signals,
I meant more
draft
about
type.
life in general. Like some like life advice.
Watch the skies.
Watch the skies.
If you're going through hell, keep going.
Okay. Paul, you got anything? No? Paul's got nothing. All right, let's close this thing down.
Well, what a refreshing change of pace.
Wow! We'll talk to you guys next week on Tapped Out Concede.
Shade.